First day of September, of course, the year 2018. Touchline is the show on Y254. My name is Maxwell Wasike. 2162 is the drill, as usual, starting with the word touch. Talk to us, tell us what is happening in your neighborhood as far as Matter Sports is concerned. And of course, right about now, we're gonna delve straight into what has been happening as far as local rugby is concerned. 2018 National 7 circuit having been won by Homeboys Rugby Football Club for the first 3 legs, but last weekend's leg being won by Nakuru RFC, aka Wanyore. This weekend there's a break, then next weekend the circuit resumes with Dala Sevens. And of course, joining me right now to help us dissect and get into the analytical aspect of the same is chairman and founder of Comras Rugby Football Club, Mwalimu Kombo. Mwalimu, good to have you on board. How are you and how have you been?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You're easy?
Good to see you too, yeah, sure.
I'm all right. Homeboys Rugby Football Club seems to be dominating the circuit so far, and KCB, contrary to the expectations of many, not pulling a surprise, and so far Homeboys on top of the summit.
Sure.
What do you make of the championship so far?
Well, the game is good, and thank you first for inviting me for this session. When you look at the 7th circuit, the way the teams are playing now, you find that things are changing and it's evolving. And coming in over the 7th players, the national team 7th players now, you find that the 3 circuits they were missing, and this one now they have joined in. So you find that now the rhythm is changing. But Homeboys enjoyed the first 3 circuit. That is the Sepetuka one, which they hosted themselves. That one they did so well. We have also the Prislu, which they did so, and also the Driftwood, the Kabeberi that was held in Machakos. So the first 3 they did so well, but when they went down to the 4th one now, you find they were able to flop. But still they are on the course. 94 points so far, followed closely at 74 with Mwamba. Having Jera coming in, and also Billy coming in, and also Daniel Tabu, a youngster, also now playing nice rugby. You find that the rhythm people changed in down there in Mombasa. But when you also look at KCB, they're also there, and also Wanyore, who won there with 6 points.
Several rugby pundits have spoken to always believe that the 15th rugby is the really rugby, and the 7th is sort of cosmetics, but 15th is quite tough, strenuous, you know, people sweating. I don't know from where you sit. What do you think now that Kenya 7th players are coming in to help their team, you know, record good performances? Oscar Injera featuring last weekend at Driftwood 7th in Mombasa for his club Mwamba. What's your contrast between the two?
Well, you know, with the 15 rugby, there are many players, and you find that with 272 rules played in rugby, you find that all are employed within the 80 minutes, and you find that it's the congested players in the pitch, so it makes also the game being enjoyable and not a 7th whereby you can look for space. Getting a space is not easy in 15s. So you must create space by having the set pieces, and sometimes if you are not good in forming the set pieces, you cannot be able to break the team. So you must be very smart also in the breakdowns. You might be able to secure the ball, no turnovers, so that you can be able to win. So at times it's enjoyable, but with 7s, someone can be able to break, and if you are very fast in the set pieces, you can be able to win a match by with a very short period of time, with a very big margin of scoring a very big margin. But 15 actually is the real rugby. But you find that countries that are not good, not having very good players, especially with providing of the players, especially the packs, you'll find that you cannot be able to win the game as compared to 7s. You might be able to have the same, the backs and the forwards. They might be more the same. So long as they have the speed and they have the energy, you find that they can be able to play. But 15, if you don't have the strong forwards, they cannot be able to match the scrum. You find that now there you'll be able to lose. And that's why you've seen countries like New Zealand, you've seen countries like Australia, which have very good forwards. They always win, and they have an upper hand as compared to the other countries. As much as Fiji is good in 7th, but 15 they cannot be able because they don't have very strong, good forwards.
There has been this argument that local rugby, you know, Boys Rugby Football Club has dominated and made headlines, and just like in football where there is a talk of Gor Mahia Football Club lacking, you know, a proper opponent. Is it the same case with rugby that the Homeboys Rugby Football Club, a club that is, you know, based along Gong Road, and rugby seems to be going along Gong Road because several clubs situated along there, Impala, you know, Nantes, Homeboys Rugby Football Club as well. What do you think? Because we used to think that KCB and Comras Rugby Football Club used to give them competition that it deserved, but of late, nothing forthcoming. Do you agree?
No.
Or you tend to read from different scripts?
Yeah, from different scripts, because Comras have won the last 2 years. Comras was there, finals last year, they were in the final with KCB. So it's just about the investment and also the coaching, and also I'm talking about the profiling of the players. How do they be able to provide? Have very nice forwards, have a center. What qualities does a center have? What qualities does a winger doesn't have? What qualities does a scrum half, a fly half has also with the forwards, the 8th man? What qualities do they have? So when you look at clubs like Homeboys, you find that they are doing that, and they can be able now also to cite the players. Which player is playing well? How many tackles has he made? How many how many breaks has he made? Has he been able to break the defense line? How many times? How many times has he missed a tackle? You find that. So if you can be able to match on that, you can definitely be able to win, and that's why the coaches are looking at it. Maybe Homeboys as coming up. Find that like KCB last year, they have won the last 2. Yes. They went to South Africa, they trained there, and they used the facility of South Africa, which the South Africa are far much ahead than Kenya. So when they came back, they gained a lot of skills, and that's why they can be able to win and retain the Kenya Cup twice in a row, which has not been quite easy in Kenyan rugby. But see now, if clubs go ahead to a certain extent, you find they'll be able to win, and that's why what Paui is now doing with the Homeboys. There's also young players coming up like Johnson Olindi, who is doing so well in the 7th circuit. Look at Mwamba also, the second one with 74 points. They have young players who are coming up also like Daniel Tabo, who is playing so well, good rugby. So
technical aspect of the game, of course, Homeboys Rugby Football Club being led by a high-profile tactician, a man who's been at the helm for National Sevens at some point, that is Paul Murunga, and being skippered by Leonard Mugaisi. He has also featured for Kenya 7 several times on international fronts. Do you think that has also been the secret behind their blistering show as far as 2018 7 circuit is concerned? And is it high time now the local clubs can go to another level and start signing exceptional players who can determine the outcome of the game where they are involved?
Yeah, to some extent, so long as you are doing some investment, and these players can be able to also, doing what? You getting good transfers and also signing good players. Always you have an upper hand. And when you look at the Homeboys team, we have national 7th players. We have like Bush Mwale, who has a lot of experience in 7s. We also have Leonard Mugaisi. Look at Alvin Otieno, who's just come, and now he's the captain of Homeboys, who've come from the 7th circuit. So these are players who've gone out, they have played, and they have got a lot of experience. So when they bring and gel with the local guys, you find they always have an upper hand. Mwamba, Dinjera, and Bill Odiambo, find they're also doing well. So a player who goes through the national players, good training coaches, experience playing with top players across the world. So when he comes back, definitely they'll have an upper hand, and that's why Homeboy is doing that. But what we see in Mombasa, now the other teams also, Nakuru with Nelson Oyo, also featuring in Wanyore. I find that, so the game is trying to balance. So we'll be able now to see what happens. Homeboys need to go to semi-finals to get maximum points, so to maintain the rhythm. But if they score 3, the other one scores 24, then when you go the last circuit in Christie, things might change. But so far, Homeboys, so good for Homeboys RFC. And
when you talk about the investments as one of the reasons that probably should be behind any team's good performance, what happened to community clubs like Western Bulls, my team, actually the team that I support, not in the knowledge of public domain as far as rugby is concerned, as we speak right now, of course, playing in the second tier of local rugby. What do you make of communities embracing their local clubs, even leave alone rugby?
So, most of these players, like from the Homeboys, you find that most of the good rugby schools, they have come from Western, apart from here a few schools in Nairobi, like Upper Hill, Murumshiri, and Nairobi School. But majority of them, and when you look at those ones who have won the high school competition, they come from Western. That's St. Peter's Mumias, we have Chavakali, we also have Kamega High School. They have won several times, even in Bungoma. So you find that most players come from there. But see now, when it comes to the team, it's about those sponsorship, and you find that most of the sponsors might be in town or like up country. So you might have those players, but like lack the sponsorship, so you cannot be able to maintain those players. And then also attractive. You find good teams that have good financial support. You find they'll be able to attract the good players. So as much the communities want to embrace, you find that it becomes difficult. But the good thing, look at the Comras now. The Comras Sugar is taken over the Comras team, and Comras team is doing well in 15 rugby. And we saw 2 weeks ago, they have also gotten a new chairman, Philip Jalango, who want to set up a high performance center, training center in Western Province. So if I will be able to attract more players and taking off Ngong Road, maybe in the 5-6 years, it will be Ngong Road will be forgotten, but rugby will be played in Western Kenya. Because now the Western teams like Western Bulls, Masinde Muriro now is coming up, he's gone to Kenya team. We also have Comras and also have Bungoma, RFC. You find that these teams go secure those facilities, then definitely those players will be playing very good rugby and will be able to win the Kenya Cup and also bring out of competition in Western Province and attract their players to remain within the within Western Province.
Heading into the fourth leg of National 7 Circuit, Dala Sevens, of course, this weekend a break, going to Kisumu next weekend. What do you make of the draw? Do you think the two teams that have dominated will continue with that sparkling show, Boys and Nakuru RFC?
Yeah, you know, sevens, it's anybody's game. Seven is anybody's game. If you don't maintain the defense, if you don't maintain your attack, if definitely you might be unlocked. So if teams prepare well, homeboys prepare well, definitely they want it. And I find they have shown the first 3 circuit. So they'll be able now, Paul Murunga will be able to go and see where they went wrong in Driftwood and be able to rectify. So because he knows if he wins one, then the other one, he just needs to be in the quarters, in the main cup quarters. So he's already won the overall circuit. So I see it's going to be tough because Mwamba, RFC, and also Nakuru Wanyore, who won, they might also want to improve on it and to maintain. KCB also, coming back of the national team captain, former national team captain, Andrew Amonde. So they might also want to show that at least they want to go home with something. Yeah, so it will be tough, but I see Homeboys and Mwamba doing well in Dala Sevens.
This is the touchline on Y254. Just tuning in right now. Keep talking to us, 22162. What do you think about the National 7 Circuit so far? Which team do you support? And what has been the most enticing moment as far as the circuit is concerned? Of course, 4 legs have been played so far. Homeboys Rugby Football Club winning the first 3 legs, then the last weekend's leg at Driftwood Sevens in Mombasa being won by Nakuru, aka Wanyore. How is your team performing? My team happens to be Western Bull that got relegated a few years ago and is not taking part as far as top flight rugby is concerned, but we're looking forward to bounce back. But as we speak right now, I have some sort of sympathy for Comras Rugby Football Club, probably that's now headed by Philip Jalango, or former Kenya Rugby Union deputy chairman, now taking over and looking forward to, you know, restore the lost glory of rugby standards at the team and probably get it to another level. But now for rugby lovers, good news, good pronouncement coming from KRU. Yeah. This time round, Savari Sevens is back, and it's going to be happening from November 9th to 11th. Last year, it didn't happen because of, you know, the electioneering times, you know, insecurity, stalemate, reports of instability and several teams getting scared of coming to Kenya to take part. Do you think now it's good news and good riddance?
Yeah, it's okay because it culminates because we also want to test, and the local fans feel international teams coming here and playing the local players. Also, local players being given an airtime also to play and improve on their skills. So I think it's something good. We'll be able to watch, and so support now Kenya Rugby Union to involve the top teams across the world. Maybe we can have Fiji also coming down, New Zealand coming down, maybe Britain, USA, so that we can be able to feel. But something good, also to uplift and show that the Kenyan lovers will be able to have a first hand in terms of watching the game at home. So, and also taking the game back to Ngong Road. Kasarani was too big, so people could not be able to watch. But once they take it back to Queens, I think, on Ngong Road, KRFU, people will be happy and they'll want to watch so fans will.
That is another talking point. Talking about the proper venue for Safari Sevens. I've attended previous legs for, you know, culmination of the championship at Kasarani Stadium. Too spacious, too vast, as you say. Of course, well accommodating, but now fans scattered, and you can't see that, you know, there is plenty of crowds at the Kasarani Stadium. But when it happens at RFU grounds along Gong Road, of course heated, you know, fans are charged coming out in large numbers. Don't you think it's also too small? And probably Nyayo, if it was in proper shape, would have been a proper alternative venue, considering what it did and how it hosted the Safari Sevens before.
Yeah, okay, what you're saying, it'll be congested, Kenya Rugby, and they might maybe do it this year, next year they'll be able to change, because when you look also at the parking areas where the visitors will want to park, where's the need the space? It's quite limited, and also the training, the warm-up areas should be very close to the pitch, but now they might be used to use the Impala ground. So it's a small ground and it might not be that convenient, but maybe probably sponsors want to see the crowd, and Kasarani they were not seeing the crowd, so maybe they asked Kenya Rugby Union, where's the crowd? So the message, let us try to bring it to a small space so it can be able, the crowd can be able to fill the ground, then the sponsors will be able to appreciate. So, but I see there's a lot of inconvenience that will be able to come in with hosting at the game at RFA grounds.
Still on local rugby, do you think it's high time now people who are featured for their respective clubs should now get into leadership positions of rugby football club, considering that elections will soon take place and there are clubs which have been lacking proper management at the helm? People like Humphrey Kayange, who's now retired. Of course, he's with the National Olympic Committee of Kenya and he's been actively involved in sports locally. Do you think it's high time now the former rugby players can take over the leadership of rugby clubs and even, if possible, national level?
I think it's something good, because these are guys who've grown through the same system, so it's just a matter of carrying it on and also improving the system. It has happened. We have seen Aimba has taken over the national team. It's been number 7. We've seen Innocent Simiyu, former Kenya Rugby Sevens captain. He also taken over Kenya team, and we've even hit over 100 points, which was something didn't happen for quite some time. So I think it's good. We've seen Pau, who's been with the KCB, now heading Homeboys RFC. With Humphrey Kayange, probably, you know, Kenyan politics, Kenyan rugby also, there's a lot of politics.
Yes, I know. Sports politics are the most difficult.
Yeah, where he is, he might be comfortable now. He might think twice to come this side, because like Aimba, who was there for some time, then he was sacked well. He was doing so well. I don't know what happened inside there, but it's good actually for these young guys, the players, former players, to come up and take over the clubs. It would be something good, and also the national team, like what they have advertised now for the Sevens team. I don't expect a foreigner to be given that chance when you have good coaches who've gone through, who've shown a lot of improvement with the local teams.
And now talking about the advertisement for positions of technical bench by Kenya Rugby Union, of course, it's something that has also elicited heated debate, mixed reaction. Some people think that probably Innocent Simiyu, despite his contract coming to an end, ought to have been, you know, retained, because his performance with the club has been quite blistering, you know, surpassing 100-point mark during the just concluded Sevens run. What do you think about the advertisement, and probably what might be KRU looking for in terms of someone whom they will consider final as the tactician for Kenya Sevens?
I think they'll be able to look at a person who has got a lot of information, a good coach who has a lot of experience to take over the national team, and also to maintain where the Innocent Simiyu left. And probably it's open for him also. You know, it comes with a new contract, it comes with new terms. Probably maybe it will be better or it not be better, because depending.
Is he eligible to apply?
He definitely is, because what they say, the contract has ended. And now, so it's open for anybody to come and apply, and probably might be having an upper hand because it's just come with the Sevens team and has done so well. Probably maybe the terms might not be the same, Probably maybe if he was earning 1 million shilling and they say 500, so it's upon him now to take. It depends, but it is they are looking for someone with a lot of experience and who can be able to maintain, because Sevens team has done so well. And when you look at also the investment what the KRU has put, they have put a lot of investment in Sevens team, unlike what they have put in the 15th team, which now we didn't be able to qualify, and so it's going for the repechage in Marseille in France in November. So if they get a good person who will be able to maintain, well, it's okay.
Mike Friday was at some point the tactician for Kenya Sevens, and has been keenly following the proceedings of local rugby, especially on social media platforms, tweeting. Yesterday I saw him sympathizing with Innocent Smith, the Namcos, on the advertisement of technical bench positions by KRU, thinking that, you know, Namcos ought to have been retained. I think Simiyu played under Friday. And what do you make of the comparison between local rugby tacticians and the overseas ones? Because we've seen even at the helm of, you know, Benjamin Ayimba, Kenya winning one of the legs, Singapore Sevens in 2016. Do you think it's high time we can trust our very own?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Because we've had foreign coaches who've never taken maybe the team to win one of the circuits. But we've seen Benjamin Ayimba won in Singapore 70. You've said we've seen Innocent Simiyu taking over, reaching the finals in Vancouver, reaching the finals in Hong Kong. And why will it not be two yellow cards for Ambaka and Injera? I see we are having an upper hand. We could have won against Fiji, but that's the weakness Fiji used to win. So the local coaches have done great than the foreign coaches, and the people who can be able to understand. If the resources cannot be able to carry on the team, they always come there and move on with the team. But a foreigner who finds that resources, he wants a certain amount of probably training, he wants to maintain the training standard, and is not given. Sometimes he gives up and leaves the team at a very crucial stage. So what happens with the assistant coach of the national team 15, who left when we really needed him against the match against Zimbabwe, but the main coach remained and snook, and you find he's taken even the team well, and now they have another chance to qualify for World Cup in Japan in 2019.
So despite the fact that, of course, besides Kenyan coaches understanding the game, having, you know, interacted and mingled with the players, and, you know, having blended very well, and probably they can work together and they have proper solidarity for the good of the game, which any other factor that will make you as an employer consider a Kenyan coach over an international one? Is it because of he's flexible to take any pay?
Yeah.
On a light note,
not really so. I think this is a man who is devoted, and he also understands. He's gone through the same process. With delay of salary, playing without allowances, he understands, and he can be able to talk to the players and understand. Also, something else, he also understands the local players. He's been following. He understands who is in Comras, he understands who is playing in Kisumu RFC, even the local team, Comras RFC, which player you can be able to invite that player for trials. So local coach is better off, but something else with a foreign coach. A foreign coach might not be biased. If it comes up, he sees a talent, might pick it. But a local coach might be able to see probably players from Comras RFC. Maybe they cannot be able to be able to get a chance to play here well. So you have that notion. But a foreigner, once he spots a talent, he'll be able to put it there. But with them, they are better off because they understand more players, and they have a wide knowledge and experience of the local league or the Kenyan rugby.
Final repechage, and you know Kenya were unable to qualify direct to 2019 Rugby World Cup after, you know, being beaten by Namibia. Quite a stubborn side. I think the second best African country in terms of 15s after South Africa, right?
Yeah, sure.
Kenya coming in third now, you can say so.
Yeah.
And now heading into repechage, tricky though manageable pool, alongside Canada, Hong Kong, and Germany, which beat us at RFC Club 31-29.
Yeah.
Slim defeat. Yeah. What do you think about, you know, the chances of the Simbas, you know, making it through?
Yeah, with good training, we have seen they are going to come tomorrow to train.
Yes.
Yeah, with good training, and also involving all the other players to come in, experienced players. This is the time now they need the whole group to come up. If they are good sevens players, you saw Mbaka here at the RFU, he was able to give us 2 tries. That was okay. Even in Namibia, you saw him also scoring a try. So if we can be able to get the 7 players coming in and also the foreign players who are outside there, like Chisanga coming up, so we need those players now. This is the time now to pull all the troops together. Then we train. Then we focus on the game. We'll be able to do well. As for much as Canada, the way it's seen, Canada is not that strong. The Canada we used to know.
Yes.
Yeah. Canada has also been winning straight, but now this time round, even they went for repechage with Uruguay. Uruguay beat them. So they are not at their level as much as they used to play. At their best. Yeah, we also saw Germany here winning the last drop kick, the last minute drop kick, but Kenya were leading. So you can be able to rectify those mistakes. Hong Kong has come here. We've seen how they play. We can be able to play well and win. So with good training and the boys in right mental setup, working on all the set pieces, breakdowns, proper working on the breakdowns, we'll be able to defeat. Like what happened in Namibia, okay, we are losing the balls on the break. That's where the coach is supposed to work on. And when you look at Namibia, the level of Namibia and the level of the 3 teams that we're going to meet in Marseille in France, they are nearly of the same level. So if you can be able to improve on that, then we have a few friendly matches. We'll be ready to tackle the 3 teams.
Do you think Ian Snook, the current tactician who replaced Jerome Powter, should now start considering players who've got speciality in 15s during national assignments for Simbas, rather than blending between players from 7s and 15s?
Yeah, but when you look at the 7s, these are the best backs players we have in the country.
Yes.
Because they are given a chance to go and play with the 15s. And if those are the resources we have here, we must employ them, because now here they are not engaged. However much maybe the contract, Kenya Rugby also should be flexible. However much they have been called for the 7th team, which will be starting in Dubai in December. Let them finish the assignment first with the national team, then they'll go back for the 7th team. So I feel okay, as much as we might be able to use the players who are specialized in 17, but we might have a few to blend in to take the game a notch higher. Then we'll be okay. Because we saw him back actually, and he performed. Look at the way we performed in the last 2 matches against Tunisia and Zimbabwe. This is a player who've come from the 7th immediately, and he's shown a lot of impact, brought a lot of impact to the national team. So it's okay. I feel it's okay for Ian Snook to use them.
Finally, how is Comras Rugby Football Club doing?
Well,
and are we looking forward to seeing it in top flight soon?
Yeah, sure. Well, so far it's doing well. We reached the semis in Mombasa, reached the finals in Prislu, and if we maintain the same, we'll be able to play with resources, sponsorship coming in. Definitely, we'll be able to match the likes of Comras, because these are the players who've grown through the age grade ranks. They're under 10, under 12. We find that we use players who've grown through the age grade rank. We don't get players who maybe start rugby at the age of 20. No, we maintain we look at the players, we profile them, then we grow with them. Then they they graduate to the Comras senior team. So far so good. The team is talented, but the only areas we need to work on is the forwards, because normally the kids who grown to the ranks, they are not good forwards as compared to the others. So once we have the good forwards, we improve on them, we are ready to go. And maybe probably in 2023, I'll be taking Kenya Cup.
Looking forward to that. Thank you for coming through.
Sure.
Mwalimu Kombo, founder and chairman, Comras Rugby Football Club, joining us this particular afternoon to speak to us as far as his position with regards to the run of 2018 National 7 Circuit so far. Of course, 3 legs having been won by Homeboys Rugby Football Club. The last one at Driftwood Sevens in Mombasa having been won by Nakuru RFC aka Wanyore. Break this particular weekend. Next weekend, the circuit resumes with Dallas Sevens, and probably teams now preparing, looking forward to bounce back. Some of them looking forward to maintain the same momentum as for probably Homeboys and Nakuru RFC. This is the touchline on Y254. My name is Maxwell Wasike. We're doing this particular show every Saturday, 1 to 3, keeping it sporty and talking about matter sports across all disciplines. Don't go away, stay tuned. Coming up next is a profile on a woman who's done exceptionally well as far as professional boxing is concerned. She's the WBC silver champion. Her name is Judy Waguthe. We caught up with her during her training and filed the following report. Take a look, don't go away. Remember, international football coming up next towards the second hour of the show. You don't want to miss that. Stay tuned.